Good evening, Mr. Sanjay. I'm Lalitha from the New Indian Express. I'm here to, discuss with you about the recent order passed by the DGCA on 11th, on December 11th, in which they had suspended four pilots who were associated with the DGC in the recent past. Mr. Rishraj Chatterjee, Seema Jamnani, Anil Kumar Pokariyal, and Priyam Kaushik. They were all in the roles of flight operations inspectors. So, this is literally the first action the DGCA has taken after the Indigo fiasco. So, what are your thoughts
Yes.
on this, sir?
Uh, Good evening, and thank you for having me on your show. First of all, this action which was taken by the DGCA against the FOIs was I had welcomed it when I first got to know about it, because I
Okay.
thought that we caught the guilty people and we were taking action against them. But
Okay.
it so transpired is during the course of the day, and I tweeted that as well, and I went on some channels and spoke about it. And during the course of the day, I found out that it was all bogus because, unfortunately, the FSD, which is the Flight Inspection Directorate, which is now Flight Safety Division, it actually just looks after, you know, operations of pilots and looks after their kind of standards. It's Flight Standards Division, so it looks after the standards of them. And I just learned that Captain Pokhriyal was suffering from cancer and in an advanced stage in a hospital for the last 1 month. He
All
had
right.
resigned 3 months earlier. Okay.
Mm.
He had expressed his inability the moment his cancer was detected.
Okay.
So he's done nothing with Indigo. Uh, Captain Priyank was actually a national hero of sorts. I do
Okay.
not know if you remember, there was the incident with the Jet Airways ATR
Mm.
from Bangalore to Mangalore, which
Mm.
caught fire, the aircraft with one
Mm.
engine. And he somehow managed to land it with 65 passengers on board, with an
Mm.
incapacitated aircraft. And he was hailed as a hero,
Mm.
very diligent, very honest working. And he was also the first pilot to go into, if you remember, Operation Kaveri, that's 2023. The
Mm.
Indian Air Force and the Indian Navy mounted that rescue expedition for Indians from Sudan.
Yeah.
The Air Force brought the passengers from Sudan to Jeddah, and they brought, Indian aircrafts brought them. He was part of that. So he's also of course, incidentally, the son of, comes from an armed forces family.
Okay.
His, I spoke to his wife. His wife was shattered. She says, my husband is an alternate. He's not even an inspector for Indigo. He's an alternate in case there is nobody else. Then I could be called upon. He has never been called upon to do any duty. And he's
Mm.
only just joined 7 months ago. So
Okay.
this was a bogus. The next person I found out, it's getting murkier and murkier, was
Mhm.
Mr. Rishiraj, you spoke of. Mr. Rishiraj
Mm.
was the deputy chief pilot of Vistara. He was also,
Mm.
he set in place the systems and SOPs of Vistara. He's also an examiner, and he's been 30 plus years.
Mm.
He's never had an incident. And mind you, I found this out now.
Mm.
He was the first person to raise the alarm. I'm breaking this on raise the alarm on Indigo's operations. He wrote a mail, and I am in possession of that mail, asking for a whole lot of clarifications. He'd actually pointed out certain issues that
Mm.
need to be investigated by the JDG, the Joint
Mm.
Director
Mm.
General,
So you're
and
basically saying he was a
to
whistleblower
ask
himself.
Indigo for all this. He was not a, I wouldn't call him a whistleblower. He was investigate. He said, trouble has broken out across India.
Okay.
This was on the
Mm.
third he'd written. He had been
Mm.
present at various. He had been present, but he'd flagged a lot of things. The 1,200 cancellations in November. I know who all were present at the meetings. There are minutes recorded
Mm.
at the
Mm.
meetings with Indigo. They were flagged, and
Mm.
Indigo had right through November said, "It's our fault. We've made a mistake. Please, we don't want. We will manage it." On the second, again, they
Mm.
said that. On the third, it broke down.
Mm.
He wrote a mail
Mm.
saying, "These these A, B, C, D are the main points we need to find out and take control right away.
Hmm.
Next thing you know, Jack Robinson, and he's been terminated. So obviously, I don't know about the fourth person. I have not dug in that deep. But
Hmm.
when I touched these four, I realized that these are being made scapegoats, these people.
Mhm.
The
Hmm.
real people who are responsible are the JDGs and the AD.
Hmm.
And they are nowhere to be mentioned. Nobody's talking about them. They were present. In fact, two of the people who were responsible for granting the increase are
Hmm.
now on the committee that's
No.
investigating Indigo. I
Hmm.
mean, that's you will agree it's you know the criminal really sitting on judgment on a bench of judges is absolutely not done. And I think I hope the government and the minister look into this very seriously. Otherwise, somebody will have to move the courts to look into it.
Mhm.
That this is
Okay.
completely out of the picture.
Okay. And I recall when we spoke earlier, you build them as low-hanging fruit.
They, of course, they are the junior most, in the structure of the DGCA, you have the DG, okay? Then you have JDGs, Joint Director Generals. Under them, you have directors of various sections, right?
Hmm.
Now we are talking of flight operations, flight FSD here. Okay,
Hmm.
there are two different sections.
Hmm.
Now these guys come way under them,
Okay.
and
Okay.
we have the key here is the AED section.
Hmm.
Okay. And that is the Aircraft Engineering Directorate because
Okay.
they approve the routes, they approve the slots, they
Hmm.
approve everything. They
Hmm.
approve the increase in number of aircraft, reduction in number of aircraft, and
Okay.
they don't communicate to any other division.
Okay.
These people, these pilots who've been victimized or repatriated. I won't say sacked because I'd said sacked in the morning and I got so many. They've not been sacked. They've just been sent back to their parent airlines. Some are Air India Express, some are Air India, Vistara. But the
Hmm.
point here is that they're really not even concerned remotely with this. You're
Okay.
just finding fault because you can't pinpoint on the permanent staff. These are contractual staff. They're not even permanent staff. They
Hmm.
don't
But
have
Mr.
the
Sanjay,
signing authority.
yeah, they were responsible for the day-to-day
Go on.
monitoring of Indigo. That is what DGCA says in its statement yesterday. They were supposed to monitor the affairs of
Well,
Indigo
that's
on a
that's
daily
quite untrue.
basis.
He's an alternate. No, what
Hmm.
affairs? What affairs? That's the question. Flight standards. What is flight standards? That is, see, that's the catch here. They were not, all of them were not responsible. Two of them were. Okay. The other two were not even
Okay.
connected. Okay. They were alternates,
Hmm.
like I said. With,
Hmm.
what is his name? I keep forgetting. Uh,
One
that's
Mr. Rishi Raj, then Seema Jamnani, Anil Kumar Pokariyal, and Priyam Kaushik.
Priyam.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
Priyam was not even there. Rishi Raj was there.
Hmm.
Okay. He has actually written mails stating that they need to be checked. There is a problem here.
Hmm.
Okay. In fact, let me also say on record, even the DG knew that there was a problem in the middle of November
Okay.
because the DG called a meeting when 350 flights
By
went on a.
DG, you mean Director General.
That's correct. That's
Okay.
correct. So
Okay.
it's not that they did not know this was happening. They knew it was happening. And the people who are responsible for sanctioning all this are the people you should be removing.
Hmm.
If the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing,
Hmm.
see, the right hand is if you say, granted for a minute, that they were supposed to look after day-to-day affairs, not
Hmm.
operations,
Hmm.
flight standards. Understand? Their mandate is very clear. If they were looking after flight standards,
Hmm.
but somebody from AED was giving away all the landing, giving more and more flights and benefits, etc., how would these people know? How can they manage? They have gone by
Hmm.
the number of pilots that they had. So this is
Okay.
what the crux of the matter is. Two out of the four are not even concerned with the issue, frankly. The first
Okay.
two, I mentioned Pokhriyal and that whatever
Rishi.
Priyang or Priyam.
Priyanka. Okay.
But
Hmm.
no, Rishi Raj had some locus there. He's a
Hmm.
787 pilot. He's clearly stated the moment I put all this down in writing, they got after me. I have put it in
Okay.
writing, and he has sent it to Mr. Bharat Bhushan, who is the Joint Director
Hmm.
General. Okay, so
Yes.
it's all
Mm.
documented. It's not that it's
Mm.
undocumented.
Okay.
So that's.
So is it, are you trying to imply that it's some vindictive action against them?
I am trying to imply that the actual people have got away scot-free so far. Not for
Okay.
long, because
Mm.
there is a CVC, there is a Prime Minister's office, there is a Minister's office. We will, it won't die here. If they think
Okay.
I'm just saying these are scapegoats.
Mm.
Like I told you, Bali ka bakra. They just found somebody to calm the kidneys of everybody across the country. There was
Okay.
rage across the country, so
Mm.
they thought, "Chalo, let's sacrifice these four and see." But these
Oh,
four are really not involved in this. They're not
okay.
involved in FDTL. They're not involved in recruitment. They're not involved in training of pilots. They're not involved in approving the schedule. Those are the four
Mm.
five key things.
Okay. So
Yeah,
what is the future course of action, Mr. Sanjay, you think can be
for
done?
whom? For the government, for the DGCA, for
For
Indigo,
the
for us.
DGCA, for about the inquiry into Indigo, what do you think is the
Well,
way forward?
I strongly believe, and I've said this from day one, Lalita, that the government has fallen on its own sword.
Hmm?
The government should have appointed an external body to investigate this. And that should have been either the CVC or the CBI. You have to have a forensic audit of the entire DGCA Indigo affairs. It has to be done
Hmm.
because there is much more than meets the eye. Much more.
Okay. Hmm.
Because for 65 pilots, you cannot have 4,900 flights down. A shortage of 65 pilots, allegedly, which they said, or
Mm.
even 100 pilots, you cannot see a cascading impact of 4,900 odd flights, right? Number
Okay.
one. You can't have the same people who allowed them to get away,
Mm.
then sit in the inquiry to judge issue the show cause notice, first of all, Mr. Jamwal issued, and then have them all sit together and sit in a committee that decides. That is the irony of this.
I got it.
That is a you scratch my back, I scratch your back kind of thing.
Mm.
And that has to be taken care of first. The
Mm.
second thing is we need to clean that system. We need to
Mm.
clean that system. Whether this minister can do it or not, I mean, I hope he can. But it's a cesspool. I'm sorry, it's a cesspool of you scratch my back, I scratch your back, uh, nepotism, everything. And I've seen it up close and personal. Also, I know people, and I've known people for 40 years there. So it needs to be cleaned.
Mm.
Aviation, our Indian aviation needs to be restructured. That DGCA office itself is so huge now.
Mm.
They do everything from pin to piano here. You've got to restructure and create smaller organizations, at least two or three. You can't have licensing, aircraft registration, aircraft lease, landing slots, takeoff slots, everything, schedules. The works are coming there. Training, punishments, investigation, judgments, everything except for accident investigation, which has been removed from them to the
Mm.
AAIB. But
Yeah.
everything else is here, and you need to handle it. One office can't look after so many things. It has to
Okay.
become different. The directorates need to be spun off, and
Okay.
we need to clean it and have qualified aviators as heads of these sections, because you've got people who are bureaucrats or babus or not even that and just sitting there, and they're doing all this kind of stuff. So,
Okay. Okay. I can understand you feel quite passionately about it. Thank you so much, Mr.
you know,
Sanjay, for.
I've spent 40 years in aviation. My family spent 85 years. So
Oh
I'm
my.
very, very
Okay.
passionate. It was my first job and it's my last job. My
Okay.
family also. So for us, this has been in our blood. I feel very passionately about aviation per se. And please understand, I'm not against A or B, or trying to target Indigo, or trying to. It's about cleansing the system. We are going to become the third largest aviation nation in the world. We
Yes.
are the fastest growing market on earth.
Mm.
If we are going to have such systems, how do we guarantee safe skies and healthy competition with everybody? We cannot.
Mm.
So we need to do this. I mean,
Okay.
this is the time. Maybe it's a godsend that we had this fiasco and this fracas and this mayhem.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it might prompt everybody to say, let's correct this. And the other thing I feel very strongly about is the poor passenger, because the
Mm.
passenger is getting a beating from all sides. Government, airline, that we need a strong passenger charter. Our charter
Yeah.
is useless.
I
We need.
also recall you've started a PIL, no? You're
I have
planning to
not
file
started. No, I want to clarify this. Good you mentioned this. I have not started this.
Okay.
This is a group of people from South India, from Chennai and Bangalore, etc., who have started, and
Mm.
they have started growing. They called me and said, "Sir, will you amplify it because you have got so much of reach, in the
Okay.
aviation circles."
Mm.
So I said, fine. And, they spoke to me and I heard them, and
Okay.
they have genuine cases.
Okay.
So I put out the tweet saying, listen, these
Mm.
people are there. And
Mm.
but I'm not putting it past, I might get involved or I might try and help them more, of course. But at the moment, it's not me who started this. There is already one PIL that's been filed in the Delhi High Court.
Mm.
But this is something that's coming from South India. Lots of
Mm.
people, very, very. 829 was what I wrote. If you look at the tweet, I think
Yeah.
that number is crossed well over 1,000 plus
Oh,
now.
that's good. Hmm.
It's
Okay.
good or bad. I don't
Yeah.
know. It's
No,
between
but it's nice you've
them and
started a
Indigo.
move. You've at least given a push to a movement.
Yes, yes, yes. No, no, of course. And a lot of them uh, have appreciated that I, put out that tweet. So I've got
Mm.
lots of messages. There are at least 3 or 4 groups, and some of these passengers are institutional in the sense group. I've got one group of 49. I've got seen a group of 37. I've seen a group of
Okay.
84 people.
Hmm.
Imagine now 84 passengers or 50 passengers, 5,500 rupee fare going to 38,000 rupees.
Mm.
That's a 33,000 rupee jump per passenger over 50 passengers.
Yeah.
I mean, is that fair? They have a right to a claim here, you
Yeah.
know, and that's why this 10,000 rupee peanut lollipop that they've thrown, somebody should
Mm.
throw it back at them. It's two stones attached to them.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you
that's
so
what
much,
it
Mr.
is.
Sanjay, for speaking with me
Thank you.
at the end of a long,
Thank you.
hard day. Now I
Long
think
day, very long. It's been a very busy
I,
Sunday.
yeah.
I've been running meetings and speaking engagements are very long, but I'm glad we made it and
Yeah.
just
Thank
in
you so
time
much
for
for
your.
making it. Yeah. I will next
Thank you.
ask DGCA their response for your
Yeah,
startling
please. If you
revelations.
want, I
Hmm?
can name and share. Please, 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 please feel free. Yes,
Yeah.
I
Thank you
can.
so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.